In The Legend of Zelda, there's always a major showdown with the villain at the end, some of which are regarded classics in the series, however others aren't really. So today we will find out which ones in the series truly deserve to be remembered. Number 5. Now, when Link faced evil for the very first time in the history of never-ending conflict, it became an incredible showdown. The area you're in when fighting Demise, the Demon King, is quite menacing and overwhelming in a good way. In battle, striking through his guard can be difficult, as he will attempt to block every attack. Additionally, Skyward Strike is unavailable due to Demise's personal battlefield. Link can quickly defend himself with a shield attack when Demise attacks, and then follow up with a vertical or spin attack. Eventually, he will summon a storm and draw the lightning to charge his sword with electricity. Link will now be damaged if he strikes the sword, and Demise will cause twice as much damage as before. And he's now able to perform his own variation of a Skyward Strike. Now, if you mimic Demise and point the Master Sword to the sky, it will charge it with electricity from lightning bolts, allowing Link to attack with a Skyward Strike and paralyze Demise, making him vulnerable for an attack. Eventually, he will fall, allowing Link to finish him with a lightning-charged fatal blow. So this fight basically comes down to a sword-fighting showdown with the most powerful being Link would ever face. He's the fully powered Demon King after all, and now you need to match him and even beat him when it comes to combat. One-on-one. This is what makes the fight so much fun. You really feel like it's a duel, which also fits with how the sword fighting works in this game. It creates a really cool theme, the fight is challenging, and they throw some stuff at you that's unexpected like the thunder. In my opinion, this is one of the best highlights of the entire game, especially after fighting the lame form of Demise called the Imprisoned so many times. One final duel with the most powerful being in the world to decide the fate of the universe. The world of Zelda and Mario is filled with wonders to be seen by players. Beautiful things like... What are you doing? You should be checking out these amazing designs, all inspired by Nintendo titles. Like this one!
Epic!
Or this amazing looking one. Whoa! So be sure to click that link in the upper right corner or description to get yours now. Nintendo style will last more than a while. Number 4. Out of all the boss fights that I have ever witnessed, there's one 2D boss fight in the Zelda series that easily beats all of them. Vaati from the Minish Cap, who has a total of 3 forms in battle. Vaati Reborn, Vaati Transfigured, and Vaati's Wrath. During his first form, he will mostly teleport around and use flying eyeballs that shoot laser beams at Link. By destroying these, you get a chance to attack him. In the second form, he starts to shoot energy balls, fills the room with obstacles, and makes rocks fall down. Now hitting him here becomes a lot harder, because you need to use the power of the Force Sword to create multiple links in order to hit all of his weak points. And as you can imagine, all the rocks, obstacles, and energy balls won't really help you. Now his last form is similar to his second, but this time he has arms that he tries to grab you with, and pushes them down in the ground in order to let them pop up right under you. Now in order to deal damage, you need to get into his arm by using the Cane of Paki. And inside, you need to take out small critters with the right look, because there are fakes that don't really matter in the end. After his arms are gone, it kind of changes. You need to deflect his energy balls back in order to expose his weak point. Now the great things about this whole battle basically comes down to 2 major elements. The amount of variety and visual beauty. Every round that you take him on, you get a wide range of attacks that all play in on each other and can actually make it very hard. For example, during the second form, the obstacles can totally mess with you, because the clones you created with the Force Sword will run into problems with them. It's stuff like this that makes the fight extremely good. Every form forces you to face a new problem and need to find new ways to solve them. Besides that, it uses a new powerful blade that replaces the Master Sword very well. It's seen a lot and needs to be used in order to open up his weak spots. And of course, there are tons of attacks that make it hard to do so, like the obstacles, boulders, energy balls, and more. Now I'm also quite happy that the entire fight isn't just that, because the first form is truly one-on-one and doesn't require the Force Sword powers. Which is good, because otherwise the entire fight would come down to duplicating yourself, and this would be too much for sure. Besides that, every form looks stunning. They really did their best when it came to designing and also the animations. In my opinion, this is the best 2D boss fight ever seen in a Zelda game. Number 3. Besides Vaati, there was also another quite different Zelda game with a villain that most will remember forever, Majora's Mask. When the battle starts, he comes to life and grows hair-like tentacles. To defeat it, you must first stun the mask with any projectile by hitting it in the back and then attack. After the mask has taken enough damage, the 4 boss remains will begin to attack Link as well, shooting energy bolts at him. And Majora can also use its tentacles to perform a whirling attack. In the second form, it loses its tentacles and grows a set of arms and legs, as well as a tiny, one-eyed head with horns. He will run around the room, pausing every now and then to perform a variety of dances or taunting gestures. Its only attack is a rapid-fire barrage of energy bolts it fires from its hand, and all you need to do is hit him. The last form is more humanoid with whip-like tentacles and a new head. Link must use a projectile weapon to stun it, and then he can strike. It often jumps from one side of the arena to the other, and its attacks are fast-hitting but slow to wind up. He attacks by whipping its tentacles 3 times, throwing giant spinning tops lined with spikes, grabbing Link and tossing him across the room, and using a furious whipping attack. Now, as you can already notice, this fight is weird, which is extremely fitting for the game and character you're taking on. The thing that makes this fight so good is the pacing of it. You can clearly notice that he tests your strength at the start, then toys and underestimates you, and then gets mad wanting to end it. The entire dynamic is what makes it interesting, surprising, and to be honest, very fun. Compared to all the other fights in the series, this has to be one of the most unpredictable and the least Zelda-like. It still has some solid mechanics, and especially the first and last form have some good challenging tactics. Especially the last one can be hard to deal with, since the whips and spinning tops can get to you fast and often. It's a really good fight. Maybe a bit too easy at times, but it certainly has a charm that's hard to explain. Number 2. Now in the series, there's one game clearly the most iconic and well-known, the legendary Ocarina of Time. Here it all ends with one of the most famous showdowns with Ganondorf ever, which consists of 2 forms, human and beast. In the first one, it basically turns into a match of tennis, throwing the energy ball back and forth until Ganondorf gets hit and is open for an attack. This phase is quite short, and after it, Link thinks he has defeated him for good. However, he comes back in a more powerful form, this time armed with 2 gigantic swords and towering over our young hero. This turns into a one-on-one fight, with the tail being the weak spot. Now, sadly enough, there aren't too many elements to this fight. Both the first and second form don't have a whole lot of attacks. However, the things that we did see became instant classics, and especially the last form is a great fight. On top of the rubble of the castle, taking on a gigantic and extremely powerful beast. This is where the fight gets really good. I also like the surprise element that it has. All of it is similar to the encounter with Demise, however this fight was the first ever in 3D, making it even more impressive. But I'll be honest, if the second form wasn't there, this would have never ended up on this list, because tennis isn't too exciting. Number 1. Now for the ultimate battle that beats all the others seen in the series, which actually took inspiration from the Ocarina of Time fight, Ganondorf from Twilight Princess. Now this is an amazing boss fight. During the final battle, Ganondorf possesses Zelda by turning into Twilight, using her as a puppet. She flies around, fires energy balls, summons triforces on the ground that damage you, and charges with her sword. And by hitting her with the energy ball, you can take her down for a hit. In the next form, Ganon becomes an immensely powerful boar who charges at you and teleports around the place. To defeat him, you must hit him in his belly by either turning into a wolf and letting Midna grab him by the head when he charges, or shooting an arrow in the head. After this, we will finally take on Ganondorf in his normal form, first on horseback in Hyrule Field. Here you pursue Ganondorf while trying to hit him with light arrows so you can catch up and hit him with the Master Sword. After this stage, we get to the best part of the whole fight, the one-on-one sword fight between Link and Ganondorf. Now, they have done this more often in the games, but this one is certainly the best in the entire franchise. It even has sword-to-sword struggles, and ends with Link plunging the Master Sword into Ganondorf's open wound. Now the reason why this fight belongs here is because it takes the ideas from Ocarina of Time and takes it all so much further. It expands in every way and creates a mix of amazing things. Fighting Zelda for the very first time in the series, take on Ganondorf in his beast form, a horse riding section which was a huge element in the game, and then an epic showdown at the end. This is a great combination of mature medieval fighting elements that fans wanted to see in the Zelda games for years. The one-on-one fight is challenging, fast-paced and fun, the horse riding is jam-packed with action and requires actual skill in horse riding, the opening with him taking over Zelda is a great surprise, and the list goes on and on and on. Another thing that makes it amazing is how cinematic it is. From the start with Ganondorf on the throne, to him falling in the end. This fight is truly amazing. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out the merchandise, it certainly helps the channel. And if you want to watch more videos, be sure to click the annotations. And don't forget to subscribe, of course.